Namaste, namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mochi Ji ki Jai. So we continue our contemplations on the Ashtavakra. We actually managed to finish chapter 1. Starting chapter 2, which is the joy of self-realization. So I've said often that this is a unique scripture where just in the first chapter, the seeker called Janaka, he got it. What did he get? He got that there is nothing to get. And yet, he got it. You cannot truly answer this question either way. So did we get it along with him? So the joy of self-realization. Janaka says in chapter 2, verse 1, I am now spotless and at peace, awareness beyond consciousness. I am now spotless and at peace, awareness beyond consciousness. All this time, I have been duped by illusion. All this time, I have been duped by illusion. Let's read some more. By this light alone, the body and the universe appear. I am everything or nothing. By this light alone, the body and the universe appear. I am everything and or nothing. Seeing there is no universe or body. Seeing there is no universe or body. By grace, the self is revealed. As waves, foam and bubbles are not different from water. So the universe emanating from self is not different from self. Look closely at cloth. You see only threads. Look closely at cloth. You see only threads. Look closely at creation. You see only self. As sweetness pervades sugarcane juice, I am the essence of creation. As sweetness pervades sugarcane juice, I am the essence of creation. Not seeing self, the world is materialized. Seeing self, the world is vanished. A rope is not a snake, but can appear to be. A rope is not a snake, but can appear to be. I am not other than light. The universe manifests at my glance. These 8 verses are very beautiful, isn't it? And this is Janaka speaking now. Janaka is confirming what his master Ashtavakra has pointed to him. And he sees this for himself. I am this awareness beyond consciousness. He says, I am now spotless and at peace. Awareness beyond consciousness. All this time, I have been duped by illusion. Now spotless and at peace doesn't mean that now he has become something else. Doesn't mean that something fundamentally at the level of truth changed, that he became spotless. All that happened is that the pretense dropped away. The idea of individuality, the idea of separate existence dropped away. So duped by illusion means what? So illusion comes. Suppose this is illusion. Okay, we won't get into that debate yet. So suppose this is illusion. Then the worldly phenomenal appearance, it appears. You see? How to get duped by it? If it was the other way around, where as consciousness, you see, you went to a master and say, it's too boring to just be all there is. There is no, I'm finding no juice in this movie. Because until I consider myself to be Sumeher or Shweta or Saroj, I don't find anything interesting to play here. So what will the master say? This is the ulta, reverse master. He's saying, but I've given you this voice which convinces you of your individuality. You see? All you have to do is believe what this voice is saying. This is how to get duped by illusion. You want to get duped by illusion? All you have to do is buy what the story that this voice is telling. It is not the appearance per se, without the collaboration of the mind, which can make consciousness itself play as if it is duped. You see this by now? No? Yes. I'm saying that suppose the game was the other way around. We did not collect here to find freedom. We collected here because, as aspects of consciousness, we found out that we are consciousness itself. In fact, even that which is aware of consciousness. We found out, just like Janaka did. But Janaka, instead of this report, he had the report saying, this is to nobody. You won't really have that report, but suppose. He says, I missed being Janaka. I'm tired of this being all there is. I want to be individual again. I want to be ego again. I want to get the taste of how it feels to suffer from personal relationships, from identity, from feeling a lack of money, you see, from worrying about this body. I want to experience that, taste that. Can you please help me? Tell me how to do it. How to do it. Can you tell me how you would be able to do it now? Is this not truly your starting point? Although I'm saying it jokingly, but truly when you check, what do you discover about yourself now? So then what is happening is that we are playing a two-step game. First, we are picking up the idea that I am not free, that I want something, I want freedom. And then we are picking up the idea that, how do I get it, Master? How do I come to this freedom? Who is it not true for right now? That you are unlimited being, unlimited consciousness. And you are aware of this. It cannot be that this is not true because this is the truth. Capital T. So you must buy a but, but, yes, but, you play like this. In this moment, what do you find yourself to be? And then you can hear the voice coming, yes, but, you see, it has a certain magnetism. I'm not denying it. It's a habit. Like I have this, if you notice, every time I put on the specs, they are fine. Put them on. And then for a few minutes, I'll keep doing it. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to adjust. It's absolutely fine. It's just habit. Doing something, fiddling with this. So like that, we have this habit of fiddling with the mind. There's nothing to do. And yet our habit is to presume that there is something to fix. What is our starting point? Truly, I'm asking, what is our starting point in this moment? And don't rely on a judgment or an inference or a report from the past or an idea or a projection of the future. What is your bondage? What is your trouble? Who is it that you are right now? Can you put a word to it? Do you have a label actually? So duped by illusion is just this. The appearance, there is a body which is appearing, you see? And then there comes a label, there comes a name and form. Does this mean that we are in denial of the worldly appearance? It is appearing. But does the appearance of it make me an object within it? How do you do this magic? How do you do this magic? How do you, the Supreme Lord of the world, of the universe, consider yourself to be a measly bucket of flesh and blood? I'm not putting the body down. I'm just saying, compared to your magnificence, this is a tiny aspect of you. Divine, beautiful, beautiful instrument, of course. Are you going to be convinced when you see yourself as the Virat Roop? Virat Roop is what? Is what Krishna showed Arjun. Finally, after sharing the truth, Arjun says, in some way, in one interpretation, Arjun says, Lord, I'm still not convinced. Can you truly show me what you look like? And as Guruji says, Krishna must have been a bit disappointed when he heard that question because the formless reality was being pointed to very clearly before that. And yet, there comes a point where it can feel like I need to see the most magnificent of form to convince myself. So, this, are you waiting for some demonstration, some experience to convince yourself of that which is so obvious by now? No, but I enjoyed very much one video of Papaji. I'm sure many of you have seen it also, where one comes to him in Satsang and says, Papaji, can you show me God? I don't see God. That's how simple it is. Papaji said, don't is doubt. Forget about don't. What do you see? What do you see? It's not wordplay. What do you see? I'm waiting for the answer. Sometimes it's good to affirm this, you see, because we can be so diffident about the truth and so confident about the lie about us. You can only see God. Or don't or doubt. You need the crutches of a thought to experience reality, to experience the magnificence of your being. You don't need anything at all. So Janaka came to this discovery. He says, by this light alone, the body and the universe appear. I am everything and nothing. What is the meaning of this? I am everything and nothing. How can you be everything and nothing? Opposites. Actually, you are no thing. You are that which is prior to all forms. And yet you are all there is. Therefore, all forms also must be you alone. See? So the everything comes from there. Everything that manifests is made up only of the self. Just like seemingly in the dream, you are everything actually, but you can feel like, you can pretend as if you are just an aspect of it. See? But even if there are mountains or rivers or great forests in the dream, it is all you. All of this, unless you let the mind convince you that there is a boundary, there is a me, and there is other, then you will see this world of duality actually is only one. How to see it? I will not take you there. I will not take you there. I can only show you that you already are that. I was saying to somebody the other day that get off the mind train and get on my train. Yeah? So, if you try to ride on two trains, what's going to happen to you? What's going to happen? That's why actually sometimes for those in satsang, life seems to get tougher in the beginning. Because you try to ride both. You try to sit on two chairs at the same time. You try to ride two horses at the same time. Try to get on two trains. What is the mind going to give you that the Guru's grace cannot? What is it that you? What is it that we still have an idea that, oh yes, this is beyond the scope of the master, of the Sadguru. I found in my experience that nothing is beyond the scope of the Sadguru. That which is the purest expression of consciousness itself. And that consciousness is the light of this world, the light of existence, the light I am. Does anything else exist? So that which is the purest expression of this is that itself, is consciousness itself. What is the greatest offer that you can get from the mind? Follow me and you will get enlightened. Exactly. For us, those who are attached to the seeker identity, the mind knows that, yes, I will promise enlightenment. Is it? What else? Anything else? Mostly in the Sangha, in the Sangha and Satsang, this will be the offer. I will give you enlightenment, is the mind's offer. And it will say, you get on these 10 steps, 15 steps. You're doing very well. Sometimes you're doing very well. Sometimes you're doing terribly badly, according to the mind's report card. And yet, what is the enlightenment? That light which we are looking for, will it come eventually? Is it missing right now? Can it be? Is it valuable if it is a light also which comes and goes? If it will come tomorrow, Or in some cases, if it was something that you found somewhere else and yesterday, then how valuable can that be? It also comes and goes. It's like watching a movie. So, firstly, enlightenment is not an experience. You can have an awakening experience in which it can seem like I don't find the sense of an individual me. But in reality, right now, there is no individual me. Sometimes it can seem very obvious, other times it can seem less obvious. The fact is, this is the truth. See? So then it says, I will give you enlightenment, and here let me tell you how you are unenlightened right now. Isn't it? So if I ask you, you will say, Ananta, I still get angry, I still have this, I still have that, I'm still concerned about security. But can you be any of this without referring to a thought about yourself? To be, you need no thought. To exist, you need no thought. But to be something, to be somebody, even that somebody who wants enlightenment, you need some thought, some concept about yourself. So immediately, even in that very beautiful sounding goal, I want enlightenment or I need enlightenment, what are you referring to yourself as? Unenlightened what? Unenlightened being or an unenlightened person? Let's be honest. So every concept that we buy about ourselves tells us the identity of a limitation. Person means what? Doesn't necessarily mean just body. It means any concept of limitation that I might have about myself. And when you look and check about yourself, what do you find? Without judgment, without inference, just in your inside. Tell me if you find this one who wants enlightenment or wants anything at all. Now, so it can't be that simple. The mind will say it can't be that simple. We've heard stories of meditators who meditated for on tops of mountains for thousands of years. Yeah, there were meditators who meditated so much that there were anthills that formed on top of them, and people didn't even recognize that there's a sage meditating over there. Just look like that. There's an anthill. These kind of stories we heard. So if those had to do all of that, how can Ananta now sit here and tell all of us that what that sage was after is already here before you can even intend to meditate? Is it possible?
The mind has a story. It says in the last birth, you did all that.
He says the mind has a story. He's saying that the mind is saying in the last birth you must have done all that already. So all the backlog is done. Yes, now now you're ready. So all of you, okay, let's take that story. As far as stories go, it's not so bad. Okay. So now, once we played this game, which is a very nice one, a few times, a couple of times we played. I said, complete the sentence. I am awareness, but fill in the blank. There's a blank after but. How many have the but? Don't be scared. We have the but. What is it?
Can you hear me? I am awareness, but I choose to get distracted and move away into phenomenality. At times I feel that vastness and complete undifferentiated nothingness. And then, but most of the time I drift from there. I'm stuck in attention. My attention flows and wanders and gets captured on whatever the thing is in front of me.
Very, very good. Let's stay with this. I'm very happy with what Murad said. So let's stay with this. He says, sometimes I see this unlimited vastness. And on other times, my attention gets caught up in other worldly things. So right now, I am also seeing all these worldly things. All these bodies are sitting in front of me. There is a computer in front of me. Attention is here. So what happened to that which witnessed both this vastness and now witnesses the world? You see, many times we can get the idea that if we are experiencing or witnessing or perceiving some vast space or some big white light, you see, unlimited. You see, because the mind hears these words and it is happy to collaborate in this way. And sometimes when we experience our own presence in this way, we feel like this is the most beautiful. And the mind will say, when it is that, then you are free. When it is not that, then you are not free. But this is not true. Just by the movement of attention doesn't mean that you moved. That which attention reports to remains the same. So even in this, you see, the eye is such a chameleon, as Guruji says. It attaches to the attention also, which is such an intimate tool. So when it goes somewhere, we say, I went. You see? Now, where is that to which attention is reporting? What happened to that one?
It's still here. But in my experience, it gets covered up because the attention flits to different things and it gets covered up. And then many times the attention falls back upon itself and I experience myself as thatness. And then the attention flows and that aspect of me flows out again. It's still there. I am still there, but it gets covered up by, the attention to I, me.
So I have some good news for you. Which is that, you see, let's take another way of putting the same thing, what he's saying. He's saying that I find myself, you see, as if it is an outward movement or an inward movement. You see? And at times, there comes an obstacle in the middle. You see? It gets covered up means it gets blocked. You see? So what I'm saying to you is the truth of what you are is neither an outward movement nor an inward movement. Therefore, the movement of attention, although can be an aid sometimes in the self-inquiry, in the recognition of what you are, it is not a prerequisite that those who are enlightened or those who are sages, their attention must only be in awareness itself. Then why would they wake up into this waking state called the world? You see, there can exist nothing without our attention on it. So when awareness or the self is done playing the game of its dynamism, of its dynamic aspect, the appearance as the world, then it might not ever wake up. You see? So the fact that there is something that still wants to experience itself in this phenomenal way, then the waking state will come. What we are saying is that no movement, either left or right, or in or out is required for you to be yourself. You see? Therefore, the truth can never be covered up. It can at best be a pretense. It can at best be a facade, which all of us have been playing. You see? So this is another very, very popular mind trick. It's one of the trump cards of the mind, which tells you that, see, that experience which you had in which there was nothing at all, it was just unlimited space. When you stay in that experience, then you will be free. It comes and says like that. I am saying to you that no matter what appearances are coming and where attention is going, you remain unlimited irrespective.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So now let's take a simple example so we can relate to this in a simpler way. You see? If you always thought or you were always told by everyone, your parents, your family, all the people you met, and a voice in your mind that actually the sun comes out from the west. This is what you always believed. Really? Then you meet someone, a rare one comes on your path. He says, "What are you saying? The sun doesn't come from the west, it comes from the east." You see? Then you say, no, it can't be. And if you trust this one, he'll say, okay, tomorrow morning wake up at this time and you check. You check. So you check and the sun came from the east. You say, maybe it is only today. Maybe this one did some magic on me. Or maybe his presence is so magical that it's so easy to check that the sun comes from the east. You see? All of the things that we hear from in Satsang. It's so easy in Satsang. Then you say, okay, you check again, you check again, you check again. You checked 100 times. You see? Now the mind will come with its trick and say, you have to be in that checking state, otherwise the sun will come from the west. It's because you are looking that the sun is coming out from the east. You see? It is not true. Whether the insight is there or not, whether you are checking this or not, whether attention is going to thousands of objects in the world or it is remaining unattached to any phenomena, you are the self. So let's see what it means when you say or someone says that it gets covered up. What is this process of covering up? This is what we are discovering, isn't it? Now, all of you, move your attention wherever it wants to go and tell me how the self went away. Don't try to control your attention. Let it go wherever it wants. Tell me how the self went away. Did it go? Did something get covered up? No, attention got attracted to some objects. Some phenomenal content was perceived. Where did you go? Did you lose yourself? Nobody can lose it. Because if you lost yourself, then who is looking at attention going here and there? You are still here, the witness of even attention. So attention goes. Now what happens? The voice of the interpreter comes. Suppose now attention went on a bodily phenomena called pain or anger, frustration, any of these popular ones. Sensation is there. Attention going to it, no trouble. Nothing got covered up. You don't find an individual experiencer of this pain. You see? But the voice comes and says, see now, till you are free from this anger, till you are free from this frustration, you will not be free. See? The instant we buy this concept about ourselves, then it seems like our individualized identity comes to the fore again. Without this, there is no covering up. Wherever your attention might wander, you never lose the self. Even in the belief to the thought, you actually don't lose the self, you just attach. So if I is the self, I being is I am, you see? And then with this concept, I must be free of pain, or I must be free of anger, or I must be free of lust, or I must be free of something. You see? Consciousness then poses as if it is something now limited. So this is the getting duped by illusion. It is not in the play of attention alone. It is attention working in coordination with belief. You see? If you have a bank locker, one key is with you, the other key is with the banker. When you go to the bank to open the locker, both have to go. At least it still functions this way. I don't know. So you turn one and the banker turns the other one. So both attention and belief have to work in coordination for you to pose as if you are something limited. That's why when the Zen master said, let all thoughts come and go, don't serve them tea. He did not say, don't let any thoughts come. All that is coming can come. Don't serve them the tea of your belief. Don't identify. With what? With what? Only the next one. I made it super simple for you. Because your starting point is this freedom.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what Papaji would say, no effort. Any effort is exactly the same what you're saying. Any effort is another wave of either doing or not doing. Is not needed.
It's tricky actually. Actually, I've discovered also in the last many years that there is no one instruction that just works. I wish there was, because then I could just repeat that all the time. Now what happens is that even in something like no doing, no effort, you see, the mind can even take that on. It's so tricky. And say, see, now he's asking me to check on what is here now. But I'm not the doer. I can't make that effort. You see? So that voice of limitation can take on any most pristine of pointing and co-opt it in its game. You see? So sometimes master has to say, yes, drop all effort. Let's take Papaji's example. Sometimes master said, no effort, drop the search, drop the nothing at all. On the other hand, he said, vigilance till my dying breath. See? Now if you hear both of these together, you're confused. Right. Okay, now vigilance till my dying breath. Then what happened to the no effort? You see? So because the point is to get to this neutrality of no movement either left or right, no looking up or down. Sometimes master gives one back from this side, sometimes master gives one back from that side. That's why the words of satsang can be seem to be so much full of contradiction. We got used in school, etc., to a linear truth, to a truth which will go in a straight line and have various gradations and will ultimately get to the ultimate truth in that way. You see? Now, in satsang, it's all down, goal. There is no straight line. Because how to point you to where you are already? I have to say take one step left and one step right. Because you don't believe me when I say you are that already. You see? So the pointing of satsang will always be like this. You will always end up where you started, unfortunately or fortunately. Because to discover yourself, you right now is enough. Not one step, not one intention, not one movement is needed. And yet, even to check this, it can seem for some like effort. That's why Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi said, and Papaji also said that if it feels like to come to effortlessness, if it feels like it is a bit of effort, then make that effort. Again, it can sound contradictory because you are that, you have not left the destination. But then, with this pointing, we are not falling into the mind trick. You see? Because Advaita can also give the ego the biggest defenses for itself. It can put up the biggest barriers to our insight, our checking about what we are, because of the level confusion that can be there. So what is happening is we are coming to this beautiful I don't know. If somebody says, Ananta, can you tell me how to bring people to enlightenment, how to bring people to freedom? I have to say, I don't know. It is just something that happens when, in this play of this resonance, this meeting, then some words just arise from here that seem to point this one on what needs to be pointed to. And yet the next questioner would come and the guidance can be exactly the opposite of that. Because there is no answer in that way. There is no truth also in that way. So it can seem like we are completely powerless when we don't know. But I've discovered that it is the most beautiful. Because that which we know mentally is like a defense. When this wall is not there, then nothing can be attacked. There is no strategy, template, plan for freedom, ultimately. What plan does the drop in the ocean need to become the ocean? Only the discovery that there was never an individual drop anyway. It has always been one ocean. I've done this often and it works. Many of us, whether we say it out loud or no, we have this desire to share satsang. So I say, okay, if you have this desire to share satsang, then all you have to do is pretend as if you're talking to a drop, which is claiming that it wants to get back in the ocean, but it's already the ocean. Whatever you tell the drop is the words of satsang. See that you already are that. See that you don't have to go anywhere. See that all the ups and downs are happening on their own. You are not doing them. It's as simple as that. Because those who have come to this seeing that it is all this one being playing in all various aspects. And also, thankfully, may be left with the memory of how it played out before this insight was so clear. So then they can guide others because they remember that there was a time that all of this was believed here also.
So, so beautiful. Thank you, Father. So,
Manju posted something. Can I read it out, my dear? You posted it privately, but okay. She says, I am awareness, but I feel more attracted to suffering. I'm glad she said it, you see, because if I say it, then you take it in the wrong way. You say it because consciousness actually is not done with its individuality, which means not done with tasting the taste of suffering yet. That it doesn't want to come into this simplicity where it becomes a struggle to suffer. So it is just at the root of it, it is this. It's like you buy tickets to a merry-go-round, and every time you get on it, you get giddy and nauseous. But the seller of the ticket always comes and says, no, no, sir or madam, we changed this right now. Now it's nausea free. This 10 rupees. And you give it that belief saying that this time the ride will be better. This time I will make something out of this ride. It will be meaningful and relevant. And you get on this ride. And again, all we end up getting is giddy. But it's just this. Something still wants a taste of that attempt. Like the story of the prodigal son, we can have this sense that there is a chance that I can give this individuality some meaning. I'm going to make it, I'm going to show my father that I can make it on my own. That is the ego's voice. I can make it as a separate individual. You see? It knows the inevitability of death of this body. It knows. And yet it says, no, if I have a statue in my name, then I will make myself immortal. If I have a building named after me, then I will make myself immortal. The truth is plainly obvious, even to the mind actually. And yet it makes every attempt to take the attributes of God, the attributes of consciousness, and replicate it in a personal way. So Vidya says in the example of the drop, there is a finite drop which merges. Am I the finite drop? Yes. That example of the drop is actually the drop is in the ocean already, but it seems to have a voice. So you're looking at okay, let's take a simpler example. Let's take this glass of water. You see, it's suddenly as if there's one part of it, one aspect of this glass of water which starts speaking as if it is individual. And then it seems to attach itself with some molecule or some boundary and says, oh, this is what I am. The rest of it is not me. So our consciousness, our being is like this. This is the infinite ocean in which all these appearances are coming and going, including the appearance of this form that we look at as this body. All of this is there, one consciousness, one being, and yet the ability to mark itself as something limited only through belief or identification with the mind. So it is as if consciousness designed this play, this Leela in this way, and then it also designed it in a way where it said to itself, but it's so beautifully designed. See, consciousness doesn't need modesty. Consciousness saying, it's so beautifully designed, this Leela, that I myself might come to a point where I get confused about my true identity. So let me, in the design of this play, also create these alarm clocks, which will show up from time to time and remind myself that I am not this limited entity. These are just metaphors, okay, not to be taken seriously. Just pointing out how this play of the world seems to function. Consciousness itself playing as if it is deluded, as if it is duped by illusion, as Janaka said, and consciousness itself playing the role of Ashtavakra and helping deceiving others come out of this play of individuality. So the person was never actually born. The limited finite being never actually existed. You see? And that is so obvious because if I ask you, in what way is the body concerned about enlightenment? You say, most of you will say body is unconcerned. So where is that one that is concerned about enlightenment, about money in the bank, about manager at work, about anything? That one just doesn't exist. Even at a phenomenal level. It's just an idea about ourselves. There are, of course, many different lines of teaching, lines of pointing. And a popular one is this, where you are an aspect of consciousness, but you are not consciousness itself. Now, that's also a very popular line of teaching, but it does not align with the experience that I have had about myself. Although I can see some benefits of it in the sense that at least the idea of your being an individual entity is seen to be false even there. Whether you admit to yourself being consciousness and the source of consciousness itself, or a part or a drop within consciousness. The end of suffering is the end of individuality. And then you can rest with your experience of your discovery about yourself. At least this much all of us can be certain about, that that entity which wants something, that is the voice of doership, of duality, of desire. There is no tangibility to such an entity. There is nobody like that. Are we on Ashtavakra? As waves, foam and bubbles are not different from water, so the universe emanating from self is not different from the self. So he's stressing about this aspect of it, which is that this world appearance is not truly different from the source of where it comes from, or from that which is aware of it. Without the line which comes from the mind saying that is separate and this is me, there is no such duality. An infant doesn't play in a dualistic way, in this way. His body can still experience pain and pleasure. The body is taken to be an aspect of the consciousness, an aspect of the appearance. Okay, we were playing I am awareness, but what? Anything? Awareness, but or I am self. She says, right, she says, I am awareness, but sometimes I'm unaware of the awareness. You see? At that time, what happens? Huh?
Just with the thoughts.
You're just with the thoughts, or what you might be implying is lost in thought, just lost, gone with the thoughts. You see? Now, when you are lost in the thought or gone with the thoughts, that means what? Attention is with the thoughts. Is it? Now, who is the witness of this happening? But even to say that when this happens,
When you practice with the thoughts, then forget about
you forget about awareness, yes. But maybe you only forget about the concept of awareness. Okay, just give me 2 minutes to explain this. See, you say there are times where it's so clear I am awareness. There are other times I'm so caught up in my thoughts that awareness all forgotten, out the window. I'm Shweta and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. So even during that time, there is a witness of the play of Shweta. No?
when that comes, then I become aware that I am just lost in the
Yes, yes, but you're not saying that the rest of the time is a blank. You're saying that the rest of the time I am lost in my thought. Right? So even to see that I am lost in my thought needs awareness. Is it? So this substratum is not changing actually. It is the play of consciousness, which is sometimes playing as if it is unaffected, it is just awareness, and sometimes playing as if it is Shweta. Is it? But this substratum didn't go anywhere. Is it? That is you. Whatever might be happening at the surface. Is it? So the entire ocean is you, sometimes high tide, sometimes low tide, sometimes just serene. So as long as you keep identifying yourself with the surface, it might feel like the ups and downs are still happening. When you identify yourself as the witness of this ups and downs, whether it is up or down, in reality you don't change. See, that's what I'm trying to say. So if you had said, for example, that I'm awareness, and I have a feeling, or others tell me that there are times where I'm unawareness, but I have never witnessed that time. Is it? You're not saying that. You're saying I can see that I get lost in my thoughts, I get caught up in my identity, and then awareness seems to go for a toss or something, isn't it? But even this, you can only say because you're aware of these times. Now, whatever the play might be, see, I might say something which you might completely disagree with right now. I said this to you before also. But if I say something which makes you very angry, you see, then would it be that awareness went away, or just that the play, the outward play of anger coming and thoughts being believed, all of that might change, but at the core of it, your reality remains unchanged. So that itself gives us a lot of reassurance. Otherwise, it can feel like I'm on this wave. You see? And sometimes I'm so calm and serene and just awareness, unflappable. And sometimes I get so caught up in this identity. So I'm asking you to just step back from that layer of up and down. Don't judge yourself on that basis. Judge yourself on the basis of the witness, who witnesses both the ups and the downs. What happens to that one? It stays unchanging. Nothing. So then, because how the mind operates is in this play of opposites. You see? It says, this is this, then the opposite of that is this, and then you have to become completely like this, and then you can say that you're free. See? I'm not actually worried about what is happening at the surface level. Many of the sages actually used to exhibit a lot of anger, and they've even cursed. I've taken examples. They've even, been responsible for the deaths of thousands of beings in their seeming anger. Of course, in an overall grace. That's another satsang. But it is not the expression of all of this, the ups and downs of our human emotions or not, which is creating a benchmark about your reality.
Sometimes you know that when you are in that space and when you speak or whatever you have to do, it just feels very authentic to that space. Sometimes you know you're aware of it, but it doesn't feel like it's playing out from that authenticity.
Yes.
Now, when that happens, then suddenly there is a doubt that you are all over the place. You're not. So,
Yes. But the best news is always that in every moment, when you even able to check like this, and you have the space for this, what do you find yourself to be?
space.
This. So it's like the sun coming from the east or west thing. It is, we can have this idea that when I'm not looking, then maybe the sun comes from the west. But once you see that all of this is a movement of consciousness, which then we take on as if I'm personally responsible for how these things are turning out. Then we take on the idea of a limited entity who has a certain doership. So if you take on the responsibility of always being the personification of being, you see, it's too much burden for anyone to carry. You don't have to do that. You don't bother with it at all. I know it sounds strange. You come to satsang and I say, don't make the effort to be authentic to that being that you're discovering. Let the world play out as it is playing, including this body-mind functioning, and then you will see that automatically. And don't even make that a benchmark. If you want, I won't say it.
I don't see.
It's better.
I don't see.
Because it becomes a benchmark.
Yes. I think I lived with it for something.
Yes.
For a while.
So it's not uncommon when we come into spirituality, we see all these beautiful masters, we have read all the stories, we have heard about them. We feel like yesterday I was fighting with this one about this, minor thing. Is it? So who am I to be able to see? So we can create these ideas about ourselves, and then we can try to live from this place. And that effort itself sounds like a big stone to carry. See? To try and live the life of an enlightened one, or try and live a life of an awakened being, or even a nice person. It's a big pain sometimes. So everything that is meant to unfold in this life, you will find that the moment is already unfolding for us. You don't have to take on this project. Just laugh and play, and cry and rave and rant if you want. So it's all good. This is what I meant when I said, get on my train. Then you don't have to worry about where you're going and whether and what you have to do in the train, whether you have to do some spiritual exercises every day. Nothing. You have to be a certain way to be entitled to first class compartment or something. Nothing. Everyone has a seat here. But you will struggle if you want to keep one leg in that train and one leg in this. One leg trying to be a nice person or a particular type of person, or trying to control the outcomes in this realm, or control anything at all in this realm. Then you will struggle. Because in the Guru train, you're leaving all of that behind. Not that you will miss out on life or something. It's just that you're leaving the attachment to it. You're leaving the guilt and the pride, the regret, the remorse, the resentment, the grievances, all these things you're living.
Sometimes when you set the train, I feel like I have left my train. I don't know which train I'm going on. But then, since I have left my train, I have also felt that I have lost people.
Yeah.
And I have somehow come to acceptance that it's inevitable and it's okay. But then it feels like hurt. That why? But then that's also okay.
If it's okay, it's good. Usually my response would be that the why question truly doesn't have an answer. Okay? Because the why question is usually asked from the perspective of individuality. You see? Now, because there is no such individual actually, you see, we can have these pretend answers. Why? You see, why? But actually there is no, all these answers are only meant to remove the question. But I feel like you have the ears enough to hear this, that why actually doesn't have an answer from a personal perspective. And from the perspective of being, of consciousness, it is just a play. It's entertainment. You see? So the ultimate or only meaning that can be given to why is because it is part of the play. You see? So, but that will appeal only from the perspective of being. You see? So if you were like caught up in your individuality and your best friend is not talking to you, and I was to say, oh, it's part of the play, you would feel like very upset with me because like, what do you mean that person was my best friend for 25 years and he's saying it's a play? This is like that. So you have to, that's what I meant by the ears to hear it. You have to be able to step back and see it from a universal perspective and see that there is no true answer to this why. You see? Have you noticed, and I've said this before, the mind loves the question why, but the mind hates the question who. It's just one letter difference. Okay, the why and the who. So I say, you say, why does this happen that I'm losing people? If I were to straight up front say, but who is it happening to? Oh, there's no way to have a conversation with you, man. It's just, it becomes like that. But the why it loves that. Why does this happen? But what is more fundamental? Why does this happen? Or who is it happening to? Once we identify who it is happening to, then maybe the why can be answered more simply. So just
that can happen.
just replace that one alphabet from Y to O. And then you'll see that a lot of clarity comes. And you never know why. Like I said, you never know in this realm why something is happening. I don't want to, again, give some answer, but you really don't know. Suppose that some have to leave to make space for those who are more in resonance in the heart. So we can give these lame answers because sometimes the why needs an answer. So we can give some.
Well, I realize that when I am kept back and I become aware of that question, I am not interested in that why. So I don't know.
This is the power of the who question because it takes our perspective away from our limitedness to our unlimitedness. That stepping back is that. Stepping back. From that perspective, all of this is a play of light and sound, time and space. All of this Leela that is playing out in front of me is so beautiful, so divine. You see? All of this is amazing. And what is the mind trying to? Why are these people leaving me? It's taking us away from the beauty of this moment. In this moment, really, all of us are sitting here together in this strange room in Bangalore, on the old airport road with all the traffic and everything. We collect from various parts of the world and we sit here and talk about these things which are out of this realm. In There's so much wonder and there's so much joy just to be in each other's presence. There's so much beauty. Right? You hear to the mind will say, "Oh, but figure out why this one is leaving you. Why does this happen?" So this is the play. Enlightenment. So, what is the meaning of an enlightenment experience? Would be just like this, and you have it, and you say, "Okay, that was it." Is it? No experience is greater than yourself. I feel like the stories of the past do a great disservice also because they make everything centered around this one experience, like as if an experience itself makes us the self, and before that, we are not the self. It's not. If I was to say first, you lose yourself, and then come to me and ask for the self. Would you be able to do this project? Just don't be yourself. Is it? So what is enlightenment is the discovery, the recognition of the self and the dropping of the false conditioning of the individuality, isn't it? So I'm saying that truly lose the self and then come to me looking for the self. Who can do it? I don't exist. Can't. I say, can you stop being? And nobody really, maybe one or two in a different way answered that they can, but actually nobody can say yes. This is the treasure in our pocket. After that, I'm very bad at reproducing some of these old dialects that seems like Kabir used to use. जैसे लाल लाल तो सब कहें पर सबके पल्ले लाल. Then basically, lost the Hindi of it, which basically means that we have it in our cloth that we tied next to us. We have the ruby or whatever. We're looking everywhere for it. But we're not opening our own, not and seeing, but it's already here. So, because we are looking for it as if it will be something objective. The self is the only discovery that we will make which is not objective. You know what I mean by objective? Not phenomenal. Not as if you will find an object. There are many who have had a very sober insight into what they are. They're leading very peaceful, nice, beautiful lives. There are many who have had great awakening experiences and a lot of proclamations and all of that, and then got caught up in great specialness and spirituality. It doesn't matter. It is not about an experience. It is that which witnesses all things. That is not going anywhere. That's why maybe I told you also, which is that can you not be aware? What is missing? You have to say honestly. What is missing? Just 1 second, right? Just Vidya had said, then the recognition that I am caught up in thought comes much later. Did I say this? There it is. The recognition that I am caught up in thought. No, we didn't look at this. Thought comes much later. Yes, that much is enough. You see, because another thought will come and say, when it happens to you, you are not aware enough or attentive enough. But if later, also you can see that all that happened is that I got caught up in thought. You see, this much. When there is space to check, you check, it is enough. As you come to satsang, you will find that this, okay, again, I don't want to give you a benchmark again. Is it? But you get the drift, isn't it? See, what happens is something strong will come. Something happens in the external environment, some feelings start to come, some thoughts come, and we get caught up in that. See, now all that is past. But the mind still has one more trump card in its hand saying, see, you got caught up in that stuff. Now we are getting caught up in that thought that we got caught up, you see. So in the train, in the conveyor belt of thoughts, these last ones are the ones that are the dessert, okay? They are the most calories because they make conclusions about yourself. They make conclusions that at what level of spirituality you are, whether how free you are. You see? We make benchmarks about what you are. What happened in the moment just happened. But when we buy these ideas, then we can feel like, oh, I'm still not there yet. Yeah, I get so caught up. All of these are just thoughts. And they have more calorific value because they are filled to the brim with identity. So that's why our master says, leave existence to existence. And even at times, if this body plays in a certain way, you see, plays as if it is angry, as if it is frustrated, as if it is guilty, it's okay. When you have the space to check on who you are, just see that you are untouched by any of this movement. That much is enough. Keep coming to satsang, and whenever you have the space to just check on this. See, the mind will keep you caught up in the past like this. Keep making report cards about yourself. So that's why I call it my arch nemesis, the checker guy. Checking and reporting. Because that's the way we've conditioned to be. School, college, medical college, for you. All our reporting has been based on like this, isn't it? Today you were a very good boy because you did all your assignments and you did all everything. The mind feels like these, you're still getting caught up in your thoughts. Is also a thought. Is it? Just leave this one to start with. It is enough. You say the recognition that I'm caught up in my thoughts come much later. This much later also is enough. For me, it isn't. Don't make yourself guilty about anything. Don't make yourself unworthy about anything. Okay, let's quickly catch up with this also. Is it, Achala says, is it then that I can lose recognition of the self? It seems that even that is always there, but held within certain belief patterns. Yes. Awareness is always aware that it is aware. Consciousness is always actually even in recognition of its source. But it plays as if it is not. Just like you said, it plays with these energy construct called thoughts as if it forgot, as if it is deluded. Nothing can make the greatest power in this universe deluded. And if such a power was there, then there was no way out of this delusion. That's why the only way to explain it is to say that it is a play. Okay, first Shweta question, then Moto G, who's on the Moto G? They have a question, they can come after that. Hari. Okay, Hari, after Shweta's question.
No, my question.
Vanished? Okay, Hari, you can come, my dear.
Sorry, Father, I have to move other.
Say again, my dear, I didn't hear you so well.
Sorry.
No, I heard only sorry.
Can you hear?
Little bit, it's coming and going, not very clear.
I try last.
Only lips are moving. You can type if you want. You can type. You're good? All good there? You have to ask Reliance Jio to get you a better connection, no? What is the point of working there and not having a better internet? Okay, you want to try one last time? Let's see.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
A little better. Let's try. Ask the question.
I don't know further, like from day or two. Can you hear me?
It's not too great, my dear. Not too great. I'm sorry.
Okay, Father. I just type you. Thank you. Thank you.
Asha, Nitya says, if I mute, so let me mute and you unmute and see.
Hello, Father. Now you can hear me? Okay. Thank you. I don't know, Father, like from last 2 days, maybe I'm not keeping well, some allergy, but like in a day or two from yesterday night or something, it's like strong fear is coming inside. Like I don't even today it was completely restless, and I can see like this allergy problem I have for a long time. So it's not actually allergy, but something is just coming up, and it's like very fearful sort of thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just I'm feeling very fearful from inside, and all kind of thought, all kind of insecurity, like a lot of work is pending, things so that are coming, and it's just I know it's just a momentary, but something just wanted to expose that thing to you. I can mute now.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes energetically some play can happen like that. And you know this, that all you have to do is let it be the Sadguru's problem. If you feel like you have to hand it over, just hand it over right now.
Thank you.
Okay, there's another request for a question. Nada says, see where she is. Hello, my dear, you can come.
Hello?
Yes, I
Can
hear
you?
you, my
Yeah.
I hear you.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, my dear.
Namaste, everybody. Actually, you were talking about and not do. We're not the doer, and I'm in a phase where whatever question I would arises in my head, about spirituality or whatever, even in my daily life, which is included, of course, all answers are I don't know.
Yes.
All of them. Like it's. So, of course, my persona, my identity is very affected by that because while I'm evoking it, it rises some emotions. But I guess this is very new for me to not know, really not know, at a point where even during the day, I don't know what I want to do, And so this is at the beginning I noticed this, I was like, okay, let it go. This is part of the play apparently, but now this has been like 2-3 weeks, and now I'm a bit starting to freak out
Nah.
because it's been like a little while for me, But there is rest and not. It's like a very quick flip. I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain.
That's okay. This is a very nice. I enjoy this question very much. Now, okay, I'm getting an echo, so you have to mute maybe while I
Okay.
speak.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much. How do I do? I'm mute here.
So, what can happen is that even not knowing, we can make that a position. You see? So, there is knowing, like I know a lot of things, and now I don't know a lot of things. You see? So the picking up of mental concepts and the not having mental concepts. You see? But very subtly, even this can become a position that now I have the position where I don't know anything. You see? Now, even in this report, the I that we are talking about is a limited entity. You see? Because that I has this particular life, and that I is freaking out a little bit. All of these things are happening to a limited entity. You see? So again, whether we can see it yet or not, even the idea that I don't know anything is a knowing that I don't know anything now. You see? So now what's going to happen to my life? So not even this we can know. And the mind cannot do this. So I'm speaking to you as consciousness itself, as my own being. Not even this we can know, that I don't know anything. Because the mind can only operate in these opposites, knowing something and not knowing, and both can become positions. You see? Doer or not doer, desirer or not desirer, sufferer or not sufferer. You see? What we are talking about is that which is on the background of both of these positions. You see? So even the not knowingness, you see, can become like a phenomenal not knowingness that I know now that I know nothing, and let me now see what happens to my life. You see? But we don't know actually what is happening to our life. Whether what was going to be the outcome of this mental forgetting and not knowing any concept, we actually don't know really. You see? So don't even make a conclusion about how life is turning out because of that. And don't make even the not knowing into a position. You see? Don't go from a knower into a not knower. You see? Because you will become like Socrates. Socrates saying, I don't know anything at all. And yet there can be a conceptual holding on to the concept of not knowing. You see? So empty of the concept of mental knowingness of any sort. Like if you don't have a conclusion about your knowingness, See? You don't know whether you know or you don't know. Huh? Because subtle as it might be, even this can become like a position where we come into a restaurant. Maybe I'm just taking a silly example, don't mind. I'm just stretching it, exaggerating to make the point. You see? So we might go to the restaurant and the server gives us a menu and we say, ah, actually, I don't know what I want. You see, a lot of, and if that happens, it's fine. But sometimes even these things can happen from a position. You see? Like I have to prove to myself or to the rest of the world that I don't know anything. You see? Or I actually have become like this. I nada now don't know anything. But we are not talking about I nada. You see? Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm saying that I'm saying that not even this. Like you don't know whether you know or you don't know. How is that? So you can't even take a position about knowing or not knowing. It can be very tricky for the mind because the mind is, so then what now? I am completely confused. Either do I know or I don't know. It is neither. Is it? Are you, even about doership, are you the doer or not the doer? Neither. It doesn't. The question doesn't apply to you. Is it? The one that could be the presumable doer or not doer doesn't exist, and the one that is is the one light of consciousness. It's the one doer, one experiencer. So we cannot have a mental answer for any of these questions. I hope some of it got through because I have to bypass the mind completely in these kind of answers. I have to bypass the mind completely because the mind only knows opposites. Either I know or I don't know. Either I'm the doer or I'm not the doer. If I say you are neither, the mind says, but that doesn't help. It doesn't help the mind, but it triggers a recognition about something greater, something deeper that you are, which is beyond this play of opposites. Otherwise, very quickly, in any position that we take, even if it is based on the words you hear in Satsang, any position that you take, then can become a position that tries to hold on to something, and it can become like this, where you say, "Oh, I seem to be losing control of my life, and some strange things have started to happen to me." Even all of these reports, the me is still the I, which is now relying on the not knowing position. See? But you are not that. That is why Ashtavakra, all the sages, said, take a step back even from this. Who is watching this apparent knowing and not knowing? Something clearer in that? You can say something. I'd like to hear.
Here you go. Yeah, thank you for the description. It appears clear, but still on the level of the mind. While you were explaining, it was very clear. But now I guess I need to chew on what you just said, So, because of course I am aware, saying that I don't know is already the fact that I am aware that I don't know. But as you were saying it, actually I'm clinging to this idea of I don't know in a way because, so now it's changing, now it's different, And actually it's different, but it's not. It's not. So I just realized that it's not different. It's the same, just the same. So this is just what I understand so far. But I hope that the understanding will go deeper and deeper.
It's very good. This is very good. I'm very happy with the sharing of this, something which is so subtle, and there already seems to be a resonance with that. I'm very happy with this report.
Oh, thank you very much, anyway, for helping. Thank you very, very much.
I feel very happy because Many times in satsang, I could say that we come from a knowing to a not knowing. You see? But even in this pointing, there can be this seed of a position, a reference point to ourselves, which can be limited. You see? That is why it is just best to how to even say this, to that not knowing which doesn't know anything about knowing and not knowing. You see, that not not a positional, not a reference that we can make about ourselves. Someone says, do you know something or do you not? I don't know. But in some moment you say, yes, I know this. I don't know this. You don't know how. And this is a simple allowing of life to unfold as it is. No position, no reference to ourselves. This is full openness, emptiness, beyond the concept of knowing, not knowing, empty, full. I'm always very happy to receive questions like this. Always very happy to receive questions like this because these can be the very confusing, very subtle points where it can seem like, yes, isn't this what all the teachers are pointing to? Don't know anything, and now I feel like I don't know anything, and my life is becoming a bit wild. What's going on? So in that, even this beautiful pointing of not knowing anything can be planted the seed of I, whose my life can become. And it is said, leave even this one who doesn't know. Left the one who knew, left the one who doesn't know. Both are left, both positions gone. Now we don't know whether we know or we don't know. Like I said, the mind cannot fathom this. It can only operate in these opposites. Something does a bypass, something goes deeper. Anil says, mother having panic for past 1 hour, having a panic attack or having panic for past 1 hour. I'm in my in-laws' home. Okay, my dear, come. You can unmute or no?
Namaste, Father.
Okay.
Namaste, Father.
Okay, namaste, my dear. You can hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Okay, actually, after a month, I came out of the house for Raksha Bandhan today. And right since morning, I'm having severe anxiety. And I just landed at my in-laws' house. So this panic attack happened for last 1 hour. So too much anxiety.
how is it now?
I had to take medicine. Then I took some sedative. So I'm feeling better. But I mean, the body becomes like so tight, the teeth they get clenched, and all those symptoms of the extreme fear and body trembling and all that stuff comes. So I just got the message that I'm not in the satsang, so I was not expecting that we'll be having satsang now. I don't know. I'm feeling very, very afraid to come on 10th. I don't know how it'll come. Actually, the body doesn't cope up. Uh, Somehow, I don't know. I mean, why it is always in so much fear. Yeah, I think, I don't know. It is so nice to see you.
Maybe it's better if you mute. Yes, very good. So just for the 10th, we worry about on the 10th. Just for now, just stay with me, hold my hand and stay at Guruji's feet. Let all these anxious thoughts, they come and go. And the body movements, whatever might be happening, it's all right. Don't stress about anything at all. Okay, all my love and blessings, my dear. You're on mute.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say thank you. Father, I really want to come on 10th. I really want to come there and stay there for a month. But I don't know if it happens or not. I don't know.
Okay, whatever is my
Thank you, Father. Thank you. I'll disconnect. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Tanya, you want to say something? She go away. Yes. Oh, there she is. Hello. It looked like you wanted to say something. You want to say? No? Is that your daughter or a friend? Is it your daughter? No, very nice. This Friday, maybe we can have a naming ceremony. Some have asked for names. This Friday after Satsang is okay for you? This Friday after our Satsang, we can have naming ceremony? Okay, somebody will be in touch with you. People a bit worried.
Father, can you hear me? Friday is not good for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Next week sometime?
No. Especially, I'm traveling.
Oh, yes? Okay, okay. Then when you're back, we see. How many
Okay.
days?
7.
7 days, okay.
7 days.
Okay. This is fine.
Thank you.
What are we doing now? 6:48. Means we have time to close. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Satguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta-Part ki Jai.
Okay, I don't feel the energy here today to do the chanting, so we continue that tomorrow onwards. Love, love, love you.